So there's this achievement in BTD6 called No Harvest, where you're supposed to beat chimps mode on Cornfield without removing any of the corn, which is a very fun and challenging achievement. So that got me thinking, how far can you get without removing any corn?
I spent over 50 hours working on the most optimal no harvest run ever. Today we are going to make history, passing the dream milestone of round 400 and going beyond to what might be close to the highest round achievable on this challenge. I have reached the final round of no harvest, and here's how I did it. After starting the game, I place down my free dart monkey in the bottom left corner and get a farm as soon as I can. By far, the most effective early game option for farming is the bank, which I can save up for using a spac ult. I afford my bank at the start of round 16 and I get a 002 engineer at the back. 12 rounds later, the bank is full, and I use this money to upgrade it to an IMF loan and upgrade my engineer to a Bloon trap. I sell my dart monkey and deposit all my money into the bank. I wait for my IMF to fill up while doubling the Bloon income with my trap until round 36. Here, I will cash out, take out a loan, sell all of my towers and buy a special operations helicopter. What I'm about to do is called stall farming, a technique where you make the round last for as long as possible in order to activate a ton of cash generating abilities. You can stall the round by using towers like glue and ice monkeys to slow down the Bloons, and towers like the downdraft or Jerry totem to blow them back. I'm gonna be farming using the S-Pop helicopter and then get a few supply drop snipers. If I use all abilities before being capped, the heli will make me $11,000 per round, the elite sniper will make me $9,000, and each supply drop will make me $3,000 per round. This income is enormous for as early as round 40, but it doesn't beat standard farming in this challenge, so before round 45 starts, I get a BRF Monkeyopolis and an Ultra Boost so I can shave off some of its cooldown. After that, I get a Banana Central and save up for all the Bloon farming towers. I get an XXL trap, double rubber to gold, a glue gunner, and a bounty hunter desperado, because marked Bloons give double income from being popped. Not many people know this, but the marked status can actually be applied to Moab class Bloons. It just doesn't have an indicator. And if a big trap eats this Moab, it will give double income for all of its insides. I will abuse this trick as much as possible, because this stacks with Rubble to Gold, Monkey City, and Trap, literally doubling the amount of money that I get from Bloons. I also kept Elite Sniper in the secret spot in the back, where it can't interfere with the trap, and a snowstorm up top to help slow down the Bloons when needed. I constantly overclock my Banana Central and keep maximizing Bloon income until round 100. I sometimes shift my Bloon trap upwards so that my Desperado can mark Moabs with his main attack before I can eat them. To defeat the bat, I get an Elite Defender and overclock it for an easy defend. To continue farming past round 100, I replace one of my alchemists with a Bloon Crush, to ensure that the big trap never falls behind on eating Bloons and causes leaks. The ice and glue monkeys have been removed for supply drop snipers, since those won't be strong enough to destroy late game Moabs and disrupt the Bloon trap. On round 119, I replace my Desperado with an MAD to deal with the BADs, before getting it back the next round. On round 140, I am in need for a Paragon to defend, but very conveniently I got a Bloon Trap with more than enough pops to create a degree 70 Master Builder, which will keep me away from dying for a good while. Another reason for why is the excellent starting Paragon is I don't have to get my Ultra Boost back after building it, since I can just use Power Glove on my farm instead. The Desperado has been moved to the bottom left corner, and from now on, this farming setup will heavily rely on stalling every single round using my Bloon Crush to benefit snipers and Desperado. I will trap all the Moabs slowly as the Desperado marks them, until there is only one ZOMG left, which I spare for stalling until snipers run out of their supply drop ability uses. Then finish it off and repeat in the next round. The Engineer Paragon will take care of the defending BADs in the meantime with some Sentry Micro. This setup in total makes $70,000 every single round, which is an insane benchmark considering how limited the space is in this challenge. And I know that's more than most of you make on a full map. I proceed to farm like this for as long as possible, sweating with my Sentry Micro just to survive longer without having to set up more defense. By round 174, I just can't defend anymore no matter what, so I decide to sell my Desperado and replace it with a Zilli. This gives me significantly stronger defense at the cost of cutting my Bloon income in half. I upgrade her to level 20 immediately, and using the Moab Hex I can now beat this round very easily. A Zilli allows me to continue farming peacefully for a while longer, until it is time to prepare for the fortified bats that are about to come starting round 200. 5 rounds before then, I replace one of my supply drops with a Master Bomber. I now want to farm pops for Ninja Paragon and finish before round 200. And this is where another advantage of stalling comes. Since all of the Bloons are concentrated at the start of the track, instead of trapping them for money, and can use them to make any tower farm pops for minutes before running out of RBE. By abusing this trick, I get a degree 70 Ascended Shadow in the bottom right corner on round 200. This is the best placement for Ninja, because it gets to throw sticky bombs at the BADs when they reach the center of the map, while simultaneously stunning their insides with flash bombs at the back of the map. I place an Inferno Ring to start gathering pops for my Tack Paragon in the same way as Ninja. On round 211, I get a degree 88 Crucible of Steel and Flame in the top left corner of the central square. And you might say, won't this kill stall? And the answer is actually no. The Tack Paragon has a short enough range that it hardly touches the stall, which will get especially irrelevant in the future when the Bloons get even more HP. That means I can have this Paragon helping me defend BADs while still fully stall farming. I continue farming relentlessly. Even after removing Desperado and a couple snipers, I'm still earning about $50,000 per round on average. By optimally using my abilities, I'm surviving some really high rounds with just 3 Paragons plus a Zilly. I managed to go all the way to round 248 before I replace my big trap with a Bomb Blitz to farm some pops towards the Bomb Gun. Luckily, Bomb Crush has actually earned 12 million pops through tens of rounds of stalling, so this is really convenient. When I buy my Bomb Paragon, I put money in the slider, just enough to make it degree 72. With some basic math, I estimated that increasing my Paragon DPS by getting 2 more degrees will actually be more worth it than saving the money for more SE rebuys. I might have a brand new Paragon, but around 251 is when Bloon scaling becomes significantly harsher. This is basically the true start of Freeplay. The Bloon HP is gonna start increasing nearly 3 times faster than before, and their speed is gonna take a big jump, meaning I would have to start investing in some actually heavy defense to deal with the upcoming rounds, which should mean that I can't farm for any longer. However, I have a very powerful strategy in mind, which will allow me to keep farming a ton of money despite the gradually more aggressive BAD rushes. After getting the Ballistic Obliteration Missile Bunker, I place down Super Mines, as I'm planning to build the Spike Factory Paragon. Then I place the Spirit of the Forest at the bottom to farm more money, and a Bloon Crush to continue permastalling every single round. I end up swapping the Bloon Crush and Azili's placements, because otherwise the Bomb Gun had enough range to kill my stall. The Bomb Gun does a good job at keeping the rounds under control, however I can immediately feel that my defense is falling off on the stronger rounds, so it's time to bring out another heavy Paragon. To build the spac Paragon, I have to sell my banana farm, which would mean losing its Ultra Boost stacks for a while, but I got a clever trick to circumvise this. I end up building the mega massive munitions factory while I'm still stalling round 252. And now, while the stall is still going, I am able to get Ultra Boost stacks back on my farm. Unfortunately, the Spike Paragon's global vines prevent me from stalling for long enough to get max stacks, but it would get better as the Bloons get tankier every round. And now, I'm going to survive all the way to round 300 using just this setup alone. How exactly is this possible, you might ask? Well, the answer is right in front of you. Remember the chimps strategy, where people use perma-spike and stall each round for as long as possible to tank the entirety of round 98? This this is the exact same strategy, but on the free play level. I am stalling every round, but now not just for money, but to build a fully maxed out spike paragon pile. A paragon supermine has the exact same lifespan as a permanent spike, and by combining this with the engineer paragon overclock, I am able to build up roughly 60 supermines in preparation for every single round. Abusing this strategy, the setup can keep defending rounds above round 250 while still making $40,000 per round. Fast forward to round 300 and I have amassed almost a staggering $10 million on no harvest. This amount of money is actually insane and was unheard of on this challenge before now. Never before has anyone utilized stall farming to the max, or managed paragons so well in the early game, or abused the spike factory to brute force the way to round 300 while still farming. My objective was to have mountains of cash for a Z rebuy in the endgame, and I can confidently say I completed it successfully, and that would mark the end of early game. From now on, the Bloon HP increases by 150% per round, meaning FBADs will get 60,000 HP in one round and BADs will get 30,000 HP. But regardless, I attempt to survive with my current setup for a bit longer. But unfortunately, I die as soon as round 310, so I use the time machine to rewind to round 304, and from now on, I will start working on my defense full time. We aren't gonna generate any more cash from now on. I sell my farm and druid in order to buy some ice monkeys and then get ultra boost, P-brew and a bloom crush. Same thing as all previous paragons, I utilize stall in order to amass pops for the ice paragon. And boy do I appreciate having this option, because all ice monkey paths are completely trash at gathering pops. Even despite stalling for a long time, I only have about 13 million pops before I'm dead to the round, so I'm forced to roll with a degree 62 ice paragon, but it's fine since I only care about its ability, which isn't changed by degrees in any way except slightly reducing the cooldown. The next paragon I'm working on is the Dart Paragon, which as we all know will be a significant DPS increase to the setup on this map. You might be wondering why I haven't tried to get it earlier to make the early rounds easy, and there's a very good reason for that. Through testing, the best placement for the Dart Paragon is in the bottom left, so if I got it early, I would have to forget about stalling. The technique that has completely carried early game, from farming cash to collecting paragon pops to building spike piles for every round past 250. An early Dart Paragon is the biggest mistake that every previous run has made. From 2023 all the way till today, everyone has been trying to get the Dart Paragon very early on, even before round 200. The DPS carry it can pull off in the early rounds was very appealing, and people thought that getting pops for this paragon later will be a nightmare. But no one has seen the pure potential of stalling in this challenge, and no one has came up with a strategy as unique and effective as mine. For this reason, I am $6 million ahead of my original world record run, and this is why the final round here will blow it out of the water. Anyways, on round 313 I figure out the optimal spac gun pile position, which is right here in between two tracks. Whenever a balloon runs over the spike mine, it triggers a mini explosion, which actually has a small AoE, and with this spot I can maximize the amount of BADs inside of that AoE. so they can get damaged without even touching the spikes themselves. On round 315, I get a maxed out Dart Paragon, which is degree 90 on this map. And with stall no longer being possible, pop farming is a big concern, so I need to work on the rest of the Paragons ASAP. With an empty field in the middle, it's time for me to place some towers that I'll keep around for the rest of the game. I start with a Mare Monkey, which I will upgrade to Lord of the Abyss in order to provide water. Afterwards, I place down 3 boats, which I use to buy a Navarre in the bottom right corner, and I put a Zilli on the right carrier platform. 050 Buccaneer easily gets 16 million pops in just 2 rounds by insta-killing the Freeplay UMGs, and I finalize my Navarre at degree 72. Not many people know this, but Navarre is actually the highest DPS Freeplay Paragon in the whole game. Now, I can add a carrier flagship in order to have 2 more platforms to place towers on, and my next goal is to get a high degree sub Paragon. This tower is very slow at pop farming, I have no stall, and I am close to dying. You might think getting it to a high degree is impossible, but worry not, cause I have 2 clever tricks up my sleeve. I place down 3 subs, and I get a degree 1 sub Paragon. Did I give up on pop farming? Nope, I place down preemptive strike and sub commander, then submerge the subclone. I'm going to use a temporary submerged sub Paragon in order to give my tier 5 subs a 6 times damage boost, significantly speeding up the pop farming process. After that, I get an ultra boost to make them even faster, and then I'm gonna show you my second trick. I place a Moab Domination on the left carrier platform and set it to last. You see, the Moab Domination has a pretty long range, and when set on last and combined with the Ice Paragon, it can actually keep almost all non-BADs at the entrance of the map, providing stall until Navarre of the Seas kills all of them with his passive hooks. I will also utilize the same trick in the late game, but with Boomerang Paragon instead of Moab Dome, occasionally letting me stall to get back my Paragon abilities. Even with my new Navarre, the rounds remain insanely difficult because of the harsh scaling at this point in the game. But with careful micro and the degree 1 sub occasionally helping out, I am able to hold on until my subs finally obtain 16 million pop. On round 329, I summon a degree 72 sub Paragon. Now, only 2 Paragons are missing, Boomerang and Wizard. The Moab Domination conveniently gets quite a lot of pops from stalling rounds, but Wizard is a snail of a pop farming tower, meaning I have to live without it for a long time. I beat round 344 still without having either Boomerang or Wizard yet. Just a reminder, this is further than I could make in the previous world record run before rebuying a Zilli. In this run, I still haven't done any rebuy. The 2 new Paragons, the improved setup, and my better micro skills really make a big difference from the old world record run. I can finally get a degree 70 Boomerang. I don't slider any money into this Paragon, just because it's trash and a higher degree won't provide any significant damage. However, my results are really slacking off despite them both being ultra boosted. I'm literally praying that they hurry up before I am forced to rebuy a Zilli just to give them more time. Every single round got harder and harder. I kept having to dedicate more and more time per round to finding optimal ability timings. I was losing hope and thought that I'll end up wasting money to rebuy a Zilli early. But against all odds, I'm still going on round 355, and I am finally able to get a degree 71 Wizard Paragon. Immediately afterwards, I place a Legend of the Night. All the optimized farming, all the tight rounds, and the hours burned into micro, it has all led to this. The new No Harvest world record setup is complete. 11 high-degree paragons, Legend of the Night, and Azili. A staggering $6.7 million in the bank for rebuying Azili. The new world record is only 20 rounds away. The intense preparation has ended, and now it is time to begin answering the ultimate question. How far can you get on Cornfield, really? Magus Perfectus and Legend of the Night provide a massive power spike to the setup. I have an important decision to make regarding the Power Glove. I need to decide which paragon I will use it on. This one is easy, because after the nerfs to this ability, Wizard is easily the best paragon to overclock. That's because Metamorphosis cooldown lines up perfectly with Power Gloves, and the overclock duration stays on for the whole transformation before wearing out. Other paragons would lose out during OC downtime, but Wizard doesn't, because it isn't attacking and has to recharge mana. But the damage of this paragon pales in comparison to the insane value that Legend can bring to the table. The Black Hole has a very long cooldown, but whenever it's up, it allows me to beat any round that would previously be impossible. Later on, it'll save me a lot of money by letting me tank a few BADs instead of rebuying Azili to kill them. With my setup now complete, I am sweating my balls to go as far as possible without rebuying Azili just yet. I managed to surpass the old world record without rebuying Azili, a single time. Keep in mind that the previous run, I ran out of money by run 372, and only got to this point by selling nearly all my towers for more Azili rebuys. But this time, I'm beating 370s with full confidence. But of course, this comfort can't last forever, and I start taking my first shots of Hexanol in the 380s. I also utilize another trick, which I will call soft rebuy, where right before the round ends, I sell and replace Azili without upgrading her. At the start of the next round, she upgrades herself to level 16 for free, thanks to the non-tick siege course buff to heroes, granting them 5 times XP rate. And just like that, I have my eyes on round 400 and beyond. Every round from now on is a battle, to use all of my abilities optimally and completely minimize the amount of Azili rebuys that I use, only spending money on them when necessary.
See you on the other side.
Round 400 has been achieved, a barrier that we couldn't even dream of just a few months ago. I've gotten so far, but it is far from over. I still have over $5 million left. However, the game will do everything to stop me. From now on, the HP scaling is 250% every round, meaning that FBADs will get a fat 100,000 HP every single round, and BADs half that. If you think that's bad, every round from now on will have significantly more RBE, making it so the rounds throw larger rushes of BADs at me, forcing me to drain a lot of money on hexing all of them. But the only thing left to do is to keep going forward. This is the final round of No Harvest. Round 430 is the final round I make it to before running out of Azir rebuys. In theory, I could succumb into hexaholism just to squeeze out a few more rounds, but after careful consideration, nah. I like this number and I love my setup too much to tear it apart. So now it's official. Round 430 is the new No Harvest Freeplay world record, beating the current world record by 55 rounds and the very first run ever done all the way back in 2023 by a whopping 170 rounds. It's crazy how far we've pushed this challenge as a community over the years. And if you enjoyed this special video, then leave a nice comment, like, subscribe, and join my Discord server. You can find the link in my About Me. Peace.